What's up, y'all? It's your boy JTMM, aka JustTenMoreMinutes, aka the Freakin 10. We are back with more Sabaton, this time with Aces in Exile. Now, you know, when I go through these and I find a song, I go through their discography, I look through the different albums, I'm like, okay, I haven't done this, this, and this. And then I go, of course, and search it in YouTube. Well, in this instance, it, of course, brought up the history next. So I know this is about the non-British RAF. Now, I'm assuming RAF is Royal Air Force, and these are going to be non-British citizens fighting in the British Air Force. But when we say Aces in Exile, raises some questions as to why. So hopefully we'll have those answered. Now, with these lyric videos, these are always tough because, of course, you know, my job as a lyricist is to break down the lyrics, but they're also, this is a video where they're right in front of you. And so that does make it a little bit more difficult, but I do go in and break down, you know, is there a rhyme scheme? What's the story they're telling? You know, am I figuring out what they're talking about? So if that type of video is not for you, no big deal. Plenty of other reactors out there. If it is for you and you're a returning one, you know what the deal is. Let's get to it. They started right out of the box. Okay, so obviously we're talking about Polish fighter pilots that wanted to join the RAF, but by the song, even though they had already earned their wings in Poland, they were sent through training. Interesting. Wonder if they'll get into the reasoning for that. Maybe in the history. Okay, so I'm hearing something different in, I guess, my voice too, with that high pitch. In Joachim's voice, because it almost has a softness to it without that edge. I don't know if that makes sense, but when he's hitting some of these notes, you don't hear that that he puts into a lot of it that you kind of hear in other parts. And I like it. So that's not a criticism in the least, which is really cool. I like the contrast to that. It's, I mean, obviously I know it's him, but yeah, there's a softness where he doesn't have that. It's really kind of nice. I like that. From near and far they arrived, joined the force, ready to serve the Allied command. Sent into training, though they had already earned their wings, they were ready to fly, they were fit for the fight. Once in the air, the battle begins. They have proven their worth, now they fly for revenge. Nice little rhyme scheme there with begins, revenge. He makes it work. Fighter pilots in exile fly over foreign land. Let their story be heard, tell of the 303rd. So then you get the herd and the 303rd. Fighter pilots from Poland in the Battle of Britain, guarding the skies of the Isle. See, I want to... let's go through. Let's hear how it goes, because I'm curious if they go into more of the history of it. That harmony is nice.
They were ready to fly, they were ready to die.
Okay. Okay, so this was when they said from near and far, my first thought was, then they went to Poland, that well, that's not necessarily close, but now I get it. So now you're talking about more than one nation. You're talking about Czechoslovakia and Poland, and my eyes just drifted down automatically, and I see Canada as well. So we are talking about, obviously, okay, so we're talking about, you know, multiple countries involved here. So we've got the 310, the 303rd, and my eyes go down, I see the 401st. Okay, now this makes a little bit more sense. I get the training part, right, to an extent, but let's see if they tell more of that story. I like the beat. This is not going to make any sense. But I hear a difference in his voice, and I was looking up to see what year this was. So this was 2010. Because his voice sounds different. And what I'm about to say is going to sound 100% crazy. But it sounds like the edginess he's putting on this is at the top of the note and not at the bottom. And I don't know if that makes any sense. Because it really sounds, you know, when you do a deeper note, right? Like kind of how my voice is hoarse right now. You can hear this bass under my voice, right? It's the depth of it of my voice. If I talk up here, you know, well, you may still hear it just because of the cold, but what's very odd to me with this, and it's not a bad thing, it doesn't have that same underlying depth to it here. There's almost a softness to it. And I don't know if that makes any sense or if my ears are just plugged from the cold and sinus infection. But it truly sounds like that edge that he puts on his notes with his vocals is sitting on top of the note. And is not sitting underneath with that depth. That may sound 100% crazy. Now, it's not on all of the song. It's the chorus. You can hear that, you know, edginess to his voice. But there's some parts in here where I don't hear that underlying edge. And it's kind of nice. Excuse me. Even at night, shadows cover the ground, and the fighting goes from dusk till dawn. With the claw of the Reich, with the claw of the eagle, they were ready to fly, they were ready to die. I like that, to fly and die. Up in the air, the battle goes on. They have proven their worth, now they have their revenge. Fighter pilots in exile fly over foreign land to tell their story again, the 300 of 10. 300 and 10, not of 10. Men from Czechoslovakia and the Battle of Britain, guarding the skies of the Isle. Over the battlefield, brave men, long way from home, few are chosen ones sent to the sky to die. Over the battlefield, brave men, long way from home, few are the chosen ones sent to the sky to die. Fly, it echoes in history, turning the tide in the heavens above. Oh, the fighter pilots in exile fly over foreign land. When the battle has been won, tell of 401. Fighter pilots from Canada in the Battle of Britain, guarding the skies of the Isle. On wings of history, they turned from home to live eternally, skybound they roam. In all of history, never before was more owed to so few fighter pilots in exile. So it goes back to the exile part. Because to me, when I hear exile, I feel abandoned. And is that because of them leaving their homes? Or is that because they left and when I say leaving their homes, that their country didn't want them back afterwards? Or is it that they felt like they couldn't stay in their country, so they went to fight? Where did they feel the exile? That's the part that I don't get. Or were they treated that way inside of the Royal Air Force because they were foreigners, that they felt they didn't get the respect because they were sent through training again and things like that? I don't know. That's where the history comes in. We got to do it.
And it was about that time that JTMM knew he wanted to see the history.
You know, I can almost do that voice now without the voice mod. Yeah, so this history is going to be interesting to me because I'm curious in what point they were exiled. So that history will be coming tomorrow. Don't worry. Till the next one, y'all know who I am and what I'm about. I'm JTMM. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.